Your brain is not static. It's a living, evolving structure that changes with every thought, action, and experience. What if I told you that the way you think today is actively shaping your future? That your habits, beliefs, and even your daily emotions are wiring your brain for either success or struggle. Neuroscientists have proven that your brain is highly adaptable, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This means you are never truly stuck. You are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes, live in stress, or struggle with self-doubt forever, unless you allow your brain to remain on autopilot. But here's the catch: most people unknowingly train their brains for failure. They reinforce negative thoughts, repeat limiting beliefs, and allow stress to take over, shrinking their ability to think clearly and make confident decisions. The brain is like a muscle. Whatever you exercise grows stronger. If you constantly feed it doubt and fear, those neural pathways become dominant. If you instead feed it focus, discipline, and confidence, those traits become your default way of thinking. Think about elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and great leaders. They don't just stumble upon success. They train their minds as rigorously as they train their bodies. Take Michael Phelps, for example. His legendary Olympic performance wasn't just due to physical strength. It was his mental conditioning that set him apart. His coach made him visualize the perfect race every night before bed, forcing his brain to rehearse success so many times that, when he stepped into the water, his body simply followed what his mind had already mastered. The ancient Stoics understood this concept long before modern neuroscience. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The mind is like a garden. If you don't actively cultivate it, weeds of negativity will take over. You must be intentional about what you feed your brain. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to rewire your brain for success, break free from mental limitations, and take control of your life. We'll cover 4 powerful strategies grounded in neuroscience and Stoic philosophy that will help you reprogram your brain by understanding how neuroplasticity works and how to use it to your advantage. Combat stress, which is silently damaging your brain, body, and ability to make good decisions. Harness the science of manifestation, not the mystical kind, but the proven psychological methods that help you achieve real results. Optimize your brain's health with specific foods and habits that enhance cognitive function. This knowledge has the potential to transform your future, but only if you apply it. If you're serious about leveling up, hit the like button, comment with your biggest insight, and subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset. Now, let's get started. 1. Your brain is always changing. Shape it intentionally. Most people assume their personality, habits, and ways of thinking are set in stone. They believe that if they lack confidence now, they'll always be insecure. If they've always struggled with focus, they'll never be disciplined. But that's simply not true. Neuroscience has proven that the brain is constantly rewiring itself in response to what you do and think. This ability is called neuroplasticity, and it means you are in control of shaping the person you become. Think of your brain like a dirt road. If you keep walking the same path every day, the trail becomes deeper and more defined. That's how habits work. Your brain strengthens the connections you use most. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your brain reinforces that belief. But if you start saying, "I am improving every day," and take action to support it, your brain will strengthen that new belief instead. This isn't just positive thinking, it's the way the brain physically restructures itself. Take the story of Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor, a neuroscientist who suffered a massive stroke that wiped out the left side of her brain, the part responsible for language and logic. She lost the ability to walk, talk, and even understand words. But she didn't accept her condition as permanent. Using neuroplasticity, she retrained her brain, regaining all her lost abilities over 8 years. If someone can rebuild an entire section of their brain from scratch, imagine what you can do just by changing your daily habits and mindset. So how do you intentionally rewire your brain? Here are 4 scientifically backed methods. Physical movement: train your brain like you train your body. Your brain and body are deeply connected. Exercise isn't just for physical health. It directly impacts your brain's ability to learn, focus, and regulate emotions. A study from Harvard Medical School found that regular physical activity increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that strengthens neural connections. That's why many of the world's top entrepreneurs, like Richard Branson and Tim Cook, start their days with exercise. It sharpens their minds. Gratitude: the shortcut to rewiring your brain for positivity. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. It literally reshapes the brain. A study by Dr. Robert Emmons showed that people who wrote down 3 things they were grateful for every day experienced higher levels of optimism, reduced stress, and even improved sleep. When you focus on gratitude, you train your brain to seek out positive experiences instead of dwelling on negativity. This is why the Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining losing what they had to appreciate it more deeply. Continuous learning: keep expanding your mind. The more you challenge your brain, the stronger it becomes. Learning a new skill, whether it's playing an instrument, speaking a new language, or even solving puzzles, forces your brain to form new connections. Research from the University of Edinburgh found that older adults who learned a second language showed significantly slower cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Learning isn't just about knowledge, it's brain maintenance. Breath control: master your nervous system. Your breathing patterns directly affect your brain's stress response. Ever notice how your breath becomes shallow when you're anxious? That's because your nervous system is preparing for danger. But you can take control of this process. Navy SEALs use a technique called box breathing to stay calm under pressure. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. This simple method resets your nervous system, making you more resilient in high-pressure situations. The Stoics knew the power of intentional thought long before neuroscience confirmed it. Epictetus said, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the view he takes of them." Your perception creates your reality. If you believe you are capable, disciplined, and strong, your brain will reinforce those beliefs. But if you allow doubt and fear to dominate your thinking, that will become your reality instead. The key takeaway: your brain is always changing. You can either let it change by accident, reinforcing old fears and bad habits, or you can shape it with intention, building the mindset and habits of a high achiever. This is just the first step in unlocking your brain's full potential. In the next section, we'll dive into something even more critical: how stress is silently rewiring your brain for failure and what you can do to stop it. If you found this valuable so far, hit the like button and subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset to keep learning how to master your mind and reshape your future. 2. Stress is silently rewiring your brain for failure. Most people think of stress as just an emotional response, something that comes and goes depending on life circumstances. But what if I told you that stress is physically changing your brain, and not in a good way. Chronic stress doesn't just make you feel overwhelmed, it rewires your brain to keep you stuck in a cycle of anxiety, impulsiveness, and poor decision-making. When you're under stress, your brain releases cortisol, the hormone responsible for the fight or flight response. In short bursts, cortisol is useful. It helps you react quickly in emergencies. But when stress becomes a daily habit, excess cortisol shrinks the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical thinking, emotional regulation, and self-control. Meanwhile, it strengthens the amygdala, the brain's fear center, making you more reactive, anxious, and prone to negative thinking. This is why people who are constantly stressed struggle to focus, make rational choices, and stay disciplined. Take the story of Howard Hughes, one of the wealthiest men of his time. A brilliant entrepreneur, Hughes built an empire in aviation, film, and technology. But as he aged, chronic stress and unchecked anxiety slowly deteriorated his mental state. He became so paranoid that he isolated himself in dark hotel rooms, refusing to interact with the world. His mind, once sharp and innovative, had been rewired by stress into a prison of fear and compulsive behaviors. This is an extreme case, but it shows what happens when stress takes control of your brain. Now, let's look at how you can prevent stress from rewiring your brain for failure and instead train it for resilience and focus. The power of mindfulness: tame the stress response. Mindfulness isn't just a trendy buzzword, it's a scientifically backed way to rewire your brain. Research from Harvard found that just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation actually thickens the prefrontal cortex while shrinking the amygdala. In simple terms, it makes you more rational and less reactive. This is why ancient Stoics practiced daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius would write down his thoughts every night, analyzing his emotions and training his mind to detach from unnecessary worries. Reframing stress, turning pressure into power. Most people think stress is always harmful, but this isn't true. Studies show that when you perceive stress as a challenge instead of a threat, your brain reacts differently. Your body still releases adrenaline, but instead of triggering fear, it sharpens your focus and energy. Navy SEALs use this mindset shift in combat. They see high-pressure situations as opportunities to prove their skills, not as threats. Stoics practiced a similar technique called amor fati, meaning love of fate. They embraced challenges as necessary for growth, which allowed them to stay calm in adversity. Controlled exposure, training your brain for resilience. If you avoid stress entirely, you make yourself weaker. Instead, train your brain to handle stress by gradually exposing yourself to discomfort. This is called hormetic stress, and it's why athletes train under tough conditions. Cold showers, fasting, and intense exercise are simple ways to introduce controlled stress into your life, forcing your brain to adapt. The Stoic philosopher Seneca would periodically sleep on the floor with only a thin blanket, reminding himself that he could endure discomfort. This built mental resilience, making daily struggles seem insignificant. Deep recovery, repairing the damage of chronic stress. Stress is inevitable, but what matters is how well you recover from it. High achievers don't avoid stress, they master the art of recovery. Sleep is the most powerful reset button for your brain. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxins and repairs neural pathways. Without quality sleep, your ability to think clearly and regulate emotions crumbles. This is why some of the most successful people, like Jeff Bezos and LeBron James, prioritize sleep like a sacred ritual. Stoics also understood the importance of rest. Epictetus taught that a disciplined life includes time for recovery, as a fatigued mind is a weak mind. The truth is, stress is unavoidable. But whether it weakens you or strengthens you depends on how you respond to it. Your brain is constantly adapting. Train it to handle pressure like a warrior, not a victim. In the next section, we'll explore how the science of manifestation, when used correctly, can help you turn your biggest goals into reality. 3. The science of manifestation: how to reprogram your brain for success. Most people think manifestation is just about wishful thinking, imagining something and waiting for it to magically appear. But true manifestation is not about fantasies. It's about rewiring your brain to make success inevitable. Science shows that your thoughts, beliefs, and daily actions physically reshape your brain, strengthening the neural pathways that either push you towards success or keep you stuck in failure. The brain has a system called the reticular activating system, RAS, a network of neurons that acts as a filter for information. Your brain is constantly bombarded with billions of bits of information, but the RAS decides what gets through to your conscious mind. This is why, when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that same car everywhere. It's not that the car wasn't there before, it's that your brain is now programmed to notice it. This same mechanism applies to your goals. If you constantly think about failure, your brain filters in evidence of failure. But if you intentionally train your mind to focus on success, the RAS will highlight opportunities, resources, and solutions that align with your vision. The problem is that most people unconsciously program their brains for failure by focusing on what they lack, rather than what they want to achieve. The power of visualization, training your brain to expect success. Studies in neuroscience have shown that the brain doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. Olympic athletes use visualization techniques to mentally rehearse their performances, and research proves that this practice strengthens the same neural pathways as actual physical training. One famous study on basketball players found that those who visualized making free throws improved almost as much as those who physically practiced. The Stoics understood this concept long before neuroscience. Marcus Aurelius would mentally prepare for his day by visualizing the challenges he would face, training his mind to remain calm and rational in the face of obstacles. You can do the same by visualizing your goals as if they've already been achieved, activating the neural circuits that make success feel natural. Affirmations: the right way to rewire your subconscious. Many people use affirmations incorrectly. They repeat phrases like "I am rich" or "I am successful" without truly believing them. But research shows that for affirmations to work, they must be both believable and emotionally charged. Instead of lying to yourself, reframe your affirmations in a way that your brain can accept. Instead of saying "I am a millionaire" when you're broke, say "I am learning to master my finances and attract wealth." Instead of "I am confident," say every day, "I am becoming more confident through action." Your brain needs proof, so tie affirmations to small actions that reinforce the belief. Vision boards: do they really work? Vision boards can be powerful tools, but most people use them wrong. Staring at pictures of fancy cars and dream vacations without action does nothing. But when used correctly, vision boards serve as daily reminders that train your RAS to notice and act on opportunities that align with your goals. Neuroscientists have found that when you repeatedly see an image linked to a goal, your brain begins to associate it with your identity. If done consistently, this increases motivation and primes your subconscious to take the necessary steps toward achieving it. Stoicism teaches a similar concept, visualizing both the best and worst outcomes to mentally prepare for any scenario. Action is the missing piece. Manifestation without action is delusion. The final and most critical step in rewiring your brain is taking consistent action. Your thoughts shape your beliefs, but your actions solidify them. Every small action you take toward your goal strengthens the neural connections that make success feel natural. Think of your brain like a jungle. At first, your old negative habits have carved deep, well-worn paths in your mind. But when you repeatedly take new actions, you start clearing a new path. The more you walk this new path, the stronger it becomes, while the old negative pathway weakens and disappears. Successful people don't wait to feel motivated, they train their brains through disciplined action. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus believed that character is built through repeated right action, not just through thoughts or words. The same applies to manifestation. Your brain will only change if your actions match your vision. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. When programmed correctly, it becomes your greatest ally in achieving success. 4. Fueling your brain. The 4 key foods that supercharge your mind and body. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ, consuming around 20% of your body's total energy, despite making up only about 2% of your weight. Just like a high-performance engine, your brain requires the right fuel to function at its best. But most people unknowingly sabotage their mental clarity, focus, and emotional stability with poor nutrition. The wrong foods can trigger brain fog, increase stress, and even accelerate cognitive decline. Ancient Stoics understood that self-discipline begins with the body. They emphasized moderation in eating and drinking, believing that what you consume directly affects your ability to think clearly, control emotions, and make wise decisions. Modern neuroscience backs this up. Your diet plays a major role in neuroplasticity, stress regulation, and emotional resilience. So, if you want to enhance focus, boost memory, and sharpen your mental edge, you must fuel your brain the right way. Here are the 4 most powerful brain-boosting foods that neuroscientists and nutrition experts recommend. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential fatty acids that make up a significant portion of your brain's structure. They strengthen neuron connections, improve communication between brain cells, and reduce inflammation, key for preventing cognitive decline and boosting mental clarity. One of the best sources of omega-3s is fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Studies show that people who consume high levels of omega-3s perform better on memory and cognitive tests. If you don't eat fish, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds are great alternatives. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Neurology found that people with higher levels of omega-3s had larger brain volumes as they aged, essentially preserving their brain function and slowing cognitive decline. In contrast, those who lacked omega-3s had shrinkage in key brain areas related to memory and decision-making. If you struggle with focus or memory lapses, start incorporating omega-3 rich foods daily. The difference will be noticeable within weeks. Magnesium is known as the relaxation mineral because it helps regulate the nervous system, reduce stress, and improve sleep quality, all crucial for optimal brain function. Neuroscientists have discovered that magnesium plays a key role in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections and strengthen learning. But here's the problem. Over 50% of people are deficient in magnesium, which leads to higher stress levels, anxiety, and brain fog. Top magnesium-rich foods include dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, almonds and cashews, dark chocolate, 85% cocoa or higher, and pumpkin seeds. A 2021 study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that people who consumed more magnesium-rich foods had a 37% lower risk of dementia. Their brains functioned as if they were 9 years younger than those with magnesium deficiencies. If you find yourself easily overwhelmed, stressed, or mentally drained, your brain might be craving magnesium. Add more of these foods to your diet and notice the shift in your mental clarity and stress levels. Blueberries are packed with flavonoids, which are powerful antioxidants that protect the brain from oxidative stress and aging. These compounds enhance memory, improve focus, and slow down cognitive decline. Research shows that eating a handful of blueberries daily can significantly boost brain function and protect against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. A Harvard study followed 16,000 participants for over 20 years and found that those who consumed blueberries and strawberries had slower rates of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Their brains stayed sharper and younger for longer. If you want to stay mentally sharp well into old age, make blueberries a daily habit. They are one of the most potent brain foods on the planet. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound known for its powerful anti-inflammatory and brain-boosting properties. Chronic inflammation is one of the leading causes of brain fog, depression, and cognitive decline. Curcumin increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that stimulates the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing ones. It also helps regulate dopamine and serotonin, the brain's feel-good chemicals, making it a powerful natural mood enhancer. Top ways to add turmeric to your diet include adding it to smoothies or tea, using it in cooking, curry, soups, rice dishes, and taking it with black pepper, which increases absorption by 2000%. A study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry found that people who took curcumin supplements had a 28% improvement in memory and attention within 18 months. MRI scans even showed better brain function in areas related to memory and emotional regulation. If you struggle with brain fog, mood swings, or sluggish thinking, turmeric might be the missing piece in your diet. The Stoics believed that self-mastery begins with mastering the body. They practiced moderation and discipline in eating, understanding that a clear mind comes from a well-nourished body. Seneca often spoke about the dangers of overindulgence, warning that excess leads to mental weakness and lack of focus. Neuroscience now confirms what the Stoics knew intuitively: your brain's health is directly tied to what you eat. The right foods not only enhance cognitive function and memory, but also help you control emotions, make better decisions, and build long-term resilience. If you want to sharpen your mind, boost your focus, and increase emotional stability, start treating your diet like the fuel source for your brain's success. You can't separate your mental performance from your physical health. Your brain thrives when given the right nutrients, just as your body does. If you feed it junk, you'll struggle with brain fog, lack of motivation, and mental exhaustion. But if you fuel it wisely, you'll experience sharper thinking, better memory, and a stronger sense of control over your life. In the next section, we'll dive into the hidden dangers of stress and how it not only weakens your brain but also affects your body, relationships, and decision-making. Most importantly, you'll learn 2 simple techniques to instantly reset your nervous system and protect yourself from the harmful effects of chronic stress. Stay tuned. Conclusion: mastering your mind through the power of discipline and knowledge. Everything we've covered, your environment, your habits, your mindset, and your diet, is directly linked to your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and overall success in life. Most people drift through life without control, reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. But that's not how a Stoic thinker operates. The Stoics believed that self-mastery is the foundation of a powerful life. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the core philosophy that separates those who control their destiny from those who are slaves to their impulses, distractions, and weaknesses. By mastering your environment, your habits, your thoughts, and your diet, you give yourself an unfair advantage in life. You develop the focus to achieve your goals, the mental toughness to endure hardships, and the clarity to make wise decisions. Most people let life happen to them. They let stress, distractions, and unhealthy choices dictate their future. But you now have the knowledge to change that. The question is, will you act on it? Take control of your mindset and future. Your journey toward mastering your mind and taking control of your life doesn't end here. It starts here. The information you've gained today is powerful, but only if you apply it consistently. Knowledge without action is meaningless. So, start eliminating negative influences, strengthening your habits, controlling your emotions, and fueling your brain properly. The moment you take full responsibility for your mind, your entire life will transform. For more insights on mental strength, self-discipline, and unlocking your full potential, make sure to subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset and turn on notifications. And if this video gave you value, share it with someone who needs it, because when you help others grow, you grow too. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep building the mindset of a true Stoic.